Howdy, folks. I hope everybody's doing well. I decided to take a break from current events and dig through some old encyclopedias and came across in the volume on China and Great Tartary came across some interesting pictures and I wanted to share them with you. So hope you guys enjoy a little escape with me. And let's get going. So here's my disclaimer, of course. What I'm going to show you here are illustrations from a volume of a series of books that are basically a world atlas. And each book has different areas of the world, and it's just gorgeous artwork. This is supposed to be completely accurate for the time. It was published in 1721, which it must have taken a lot of time to compile. So I would assume that all these images are from probably about 1700 or so, around in that time. In order for somebody to travel and do this, just fascinating. Anyhow, but this is the cover page of this volume, and this is a volume on China and Great Tartary. And the whole series, the series is called The Pleasant Gallery of the World. It's written in French. And here's a translation, a Google translation of basically a description for this volume. So let's move on to the pretty pictures. It's just, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Apparently the world was just stunning and gorgeous in the 1700s. I really wish I could have seen it. But you gotta look carefully at these, and I don't think a lot of people do. But I'm going to show you pictures and I'm going to show you zoomed in. Like this one right here. Oh, that's just stunning. I wish I could see these places. I wish I had a TARDIS. But look at the zoom in. Look at these little people. These are not children. And I've gone through, if you've seen my other videos, you know I've gone through this. These are not children. Most of these books show two different sized people in all different cultures and races. Here's another one. That's kind of an interesting photo, but zoom in again, and there you have little people. And I do often come across the smaller people, which I assume are our modern humans, in doing what seems to be a slave job, like holding the umbrella over the giant's head or holding the train of a giant woman's dress. I see that a lot, so I'm wondering if these little humans weren't created to be slaves to these giants. And this seems to be the same dynamic worldwide back in the 16 and 1700s. But if you look at art from this time and earlier, you'll see these different sized people a lot. Like this one right here in the bottom right hand corner, you see the smaller person watering the flowers. So obviously some kind of slave. And here's another one where you see the smaller people. The one holding that umbrella isn't as much smaller than the person that they're near, but the ones on the left there, they don't look like children to me. And there's another zoom in. Let me go back. See this section right in here in the middle? That's the zoom of that. And there's more of them. And these are just interesting photos or interesting illustrations of what women, Tartarian women, look like and the kind of garb that they would wear. The same thing with the men. That's what they look like. But again, I find the two different sizes in all cultures. Like here's one that was from China. And you see the little guy dressed identical to the larger one. So apparently they weren't all slaves, but it looks like a lot of them were. This picture, the one on the left, I'm going to zoom in, is really interesting. And you got to look carefully to spot this. But if you look on the right-hand side here, look at how huge that guy is. And then the one on the left. So not only were there, seems like a standard size of giant all over the world that are a few feet taller than what most modern humans are, and then you see occasionally these huge giants. And I think the farther back you go, especially in previous ages, I think they were even larger. And again, you see this procession line here. I'm going to zoom in on these little guys in the front. And they do not look like children. They don't look like children at all, but you see a lot of these two different sizes of people. And weird animals. And I think that the way that they draw regular animals was a little odd, but then you'll see a lot of odd looking animals too. Makes you wonder what was going on back then. And the boats back then were beautiful. And these are Chinese boats. They're just gorgeous. It breaks my heart. The art and the way that they lived back then has been lost. And our world now is just so ugly compared to what it used to be. But I found this interesting because apparently this is like Tartarian huts. And just beautiful the way they do that, the way they're made. And apparently they're made to be mobile as well, because you see them hauling this one along. And I zoomed in there in the top, and there's more little people in Tartaria. And here's one that I had to zoom in to get details on. And I'll show you this. The picture on the left is the one I'm zooming in. The one on the right is musical instruments, which looks really neat. But on the left here, it looks like lighting, artificial lighting, or fireworks. Really neat looking. And I see the same similar stuff in the illustrations from all sorts of other regions in the world during this time period, starting with about the mid-1600s. That seems to be when all these star forts were built as well. And this is in Asia. And what do we have here? We have a star fort. And again, here's another set. Just cool pictures. Pretty little things. Not much more to it. So that's about it. Just a quick little, ooh, isn't that interesting kind of video to throw out there for you guys. Anyhow, I hope everybody hangs in there and we'll get out of this germophobic world state pretty soon. And I wish you guys best of luck, happy day, and y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.